In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the upcoming pattern. But today, things look a little bit different. I hate repetitiveness, believe it or not, but we're going to be taking a look at the American model instead of the European model. Two reasons for this. Every single day we've been taking a look at the European model, so not a lot changes in the day-to-day outlook, but some things do. It's just very mild, the changes. So this will give us a good flip and different perspective of things. Not only that, instead of getting the 10 days that the European model gets us, we actually get 15 days here on the GFS model. So we're going to get a little bit further here, get a little bit of a different perspective, and in general, just flip things up a little bit. I hope you enjoy this video. Before we get into things, we're actually going to be talking about my business, Trilogy Maps, and the reason we're talking about this today is because we actually have a 50% off discount going on store-wide. So if you check those out today, we have that amazing discount going on for our extremely customizable, very high resolution maps over at trilogymaps.com. You can even use my 33% off discount direct today to get 33% off on top of the 50% off. So it's an absolutely incredibly insane deal going on right now that you guys can check out today in the pinned comment and description down below. Now, looking at today, we can see that there is a storm brewing off the southeast, and we also have severe weather kind of surging here throughout a lot of the central United States. That's going to be the main talking point, is days and days of this severe weather activity. It's going to be absolutely insane. By the time we're taking a look at Friday into Saturday, it's going to be the 26th into the 27th here. We can see this low is really developing, bringing precipitation here to the southeast. We also see this influx of this severe weather activity up and down the central United States. That's going to be a really, really major talking point for us, because that is just really, really crazy, the amount of activity we're seeing in that corridor of the nation. As we keep going here towards Saturday afternoon, we can really see that this coastal storm really ramps up and brings us a lot of activity, especially around the Carolinas and surrounding states. Very, very heavy rainfall combined with a very slow moving storm. So it's going to be days and days of this activity, really looking to bring major impacts here to these areas. Now, as we take a look at Sunday, and that's going to be May 28th, we can see that a lot of this activity is still around. It is not as intense and it's kind of disorganized at this point, but we're still seeing a lot of this activity. Also here, we're still seeing some of the severe weather across the plains trending in. This is going to be a pretty interesting pattern to track overall due to these factors. As we reach early next week, by Monday the 29th here of May, we can see that we still have this coastal storm sitting over the Carolinas and surrounding areas. I can't believe how much activity we're seeing in this area and how slow it is to move out. It is going to be extremely dreary, extremely rainy, and flooding is going to be a major concern. If you see heavy rainfall for days and days, that is always going to be the top concern for these areas. Wind and other effects cannot be ruled out though either. We're going to be watching for multiple different impacts. By Tuesday, the 30th here of May, we see it moves a little bit northward here, bringing impacts more towards the mid-Atlantic than anywhere else. So it had been affecting mostly the southeast. Now we're seeing a lot more of that activity for the northeast and the mid-Atlantic. This is kind of debatable because we have seen some models trend at this really being suppressed to the south and not bringing much to the mid-Atlantic. Although this GFS model wants to say that it will, and actually it continues to move up. And look at this, by the time we're reaching Wednesday the 31st, or it might even be Tuesday the 30th, we're seeing this start. We're seeing a really big surge in the severe weather here across the central United States again, as we get a little bit of a stronger low, 998 right here, and that is going to really, really help to amplify the situation down there. By Wednesday as well, Wednesday evening, we see another flare-up of just these amazing thunderstorms out here in the central United States. Really incredible stuff here, and we're going to have to watch it very closely. As we know, this area can be extremely dangerous when we see these types of conditions, so we need to watch it extremely closely. As we work our way towards Thursday, and that's going to be June 1st, we can see that this is still just repetitively sitting here. I mean, it's amazing to me how slow this pattern is moving and how long everything wants to just sit around in one place. I've never seen a pattern quite like this, especially this prolonged of a time period as well. I mean, it's just absolutely mind-bending stuff here, and it's what I love about weather, is this the anomalies, the very interesting and very rare types of patterns that we see. We also see quite a bit of activity at this point for the Northeast, so that is going to be another area that we're watching. And by Friday the 2nd, we actually have a little bit of a weaker low setting up over Virginia, bringing this precipitation to the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast especially, but we're still seeing potential severe weather here in the plains, so we are expecting a big time increase in the severe weather for these areas and in general the stormy weather. By Saturday the 3rd, we have another day of pretty intense storms across the middle of the nation in general. That is going to be something to watch. And by Sunday, Monday timeframe, that's going to be the 4th and the 5th, we have a bit of a southern slider nor'easter type track taking place as the jet stream is now doing this by this point. So we see colder air really trending in here for these areas, a positive PNA trending in for the west, and this is helping all the flow to do, pretty much follow the jet stream here, and we're seeing a coastal storm around Monday the 5th potentially according to this model. Take it with a grain of salt. We are in the extended range now, but something certainly to watch. Some nor'easters perhaps. And then as we reach further into the pattern here, as we approach the 10th, this will be the 9th of June, we see a more flat jet stream across the north with some warmth here, especially in the east, it appears, at the end here of the pattern. Now, the total precipitation is obviously going to be a lot for everybody because it's 15 days instead of 10. But I think the most important thing to note here is with back-to-back coastal systems, one of which extremely slow, one of them a lot quicker, we get above average precipitation along the eastern seaboard in general, but especially here in the southeast and mid-Atlantic where they get 3 to 5 days of rain from that first system. Definitely going to really begin to pile up as we see those rainy conditions just continue for long periods of time. Now, overall, we're expecting multiple inches of rainfall across the plains, but areas that happen to get back-to-back heavier thunderstorms will end up with heavier totals than this. And areas that miss out on some of the thunderstorms, which certainly somebody will, that is going to be areas that see less than a few inches. So it is going to vary across the spectrum, anywhere from nothing to maybe even 5 to 10 inches if you get hit with heavier thunderstorms. The average of that being 2 to 3, maybe 4 inches of rainfall overall. And again, on the more macro level of things and in a much more higher definition, we would need to see this. But the areas that don't see thunderstorms will see hardly any. The areas that do will see a lot more than this is showing. The Northwest as well, we see activity picking up out there, potentially multiple inches up there. And it has been quite a while since we've been able to say that. So certainly going to see things really picking back up here for a resurgence of that activity out there. As we take a look at that total snowfall here, we can see that there is some snowfall still expected in the upcoming pattern, including some snowfall here for California, some snowfall along the Rockies, perhaps, but things are really dying down. This is through June 9th, so this is probably about it as far as snowfall this upcoming 15 days. I almost said this upcoming winter. That would be something, wouldn't it? But this is all the snowfall for the upcoming 15 days, and probably the final amount for this snow season of 2022 to 2023 as we close things out. Now for the temperature pattern, we're taking a look at the GFS ensemble model here. We can see cooler conditions for a time here, and really as we reach early next week, we start to see warming in the east here and cooling out west. This is really a classic negative PNA pattern. So what I mean by that is negative temperatures out here causes the warmth to surge in these areas, and it's just classic. That is really what we see time and time again. That continues for a little bit, but by the time we're reaching June 5th, 6th timeframe, we see cold trending back into the east and warmth trending back into the west, especially the northwest here, where we have this warm bubble here. A bit of a positive PNA taking place out there. Not that classic of a shape, but it has the same effect nearly. We see cooler temperatures able to work its way into the east. And that's pretty much what we see towards even the end of the model run here. Still cold entering into the east. So a little bit cooler. Obviously not going to be frigid, but perhaps mostly 70s, lower 80s here for the beginning of June, according to this model. And if you've been keeping up with us, been seeing the European models suggesting the same exact thing. Certainly something to watch. Very interesting stuff. I appreciate you guys watching the videos. Be sure to check out those trilogy maps like we mentioned in the description and pinned comment down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for daily weather uploads here on the channel. And you can even hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload so you never miss one. Also, be sure to hit the like button and leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.